Hi, I'm Nick Prather. I am the current head coach of the Auburn University Rugby Football Club.
My name is Dale Hardman, current player and assistant coach at Auburn Rugby Football Club.
So the Auburn University Rugby Football Club started in 1969. It is the oldest club sport at Auburn University and has seen the likes of actually many football players have played on this team back in those earlier days. But we like to think that we have a lot of kids that have a lot of rugby knowledge and experience that come here from out of other states other than Alabama to come and participate in our club.
A brief overview of rugby. It's originated out of soccer. So the Rugby World Cup trophy is called the William Webb Ellis Trophy. It's a guy out of England who was playing a soccer match who decided to pick up the ball and actually run into the goals, and that's where rugby originated from.
The game has a lot of similarities to football and soccer, but one of the biggest differences is that the ball must be passed backwards in order to move forward. There are similarities. You still have to tackle the player with the ball, but there's no blocking, unlike football. When it comes to scoring in the sport of rugby, a player must get to the other try zone, which is commonly referred to as the end zone, similar to football, and they must actually touch the ball down on the ground to score. That is actually why football touchdown is called a touchdown, because the players used to have to actually touch the ball down in their earlier adaptations of the game. A try is worth 5 points, which is a touchdown, and the extra point, which is called a conversion in rugby, is worth 2. The biggest difference between football and rugby in that aspect is in rugby, you have to kick the extra point or the conversion from where you touch the ball down. So if the defense pushes you to the left corner of the pitch and you touch the ball down in the corner, then you must kick your conversion on the line in which you touched it down at the post.
This makes for trickier kicks and a bit more excitement in the game. So the rugby field is the same as a football field, a rectangular field. It is split into 100 meters from try zone to try zone, 68 to 70 meters wide. So rugby has a numerous amount of adaptations. Sevens, each is a game of 7 minutes aside, 7 guys aside, and that is actually an Olympic sport now recent, and the US has been exciting in that. The original game of rugby union is 15 versus 15 with 7 guys on the bench, and that is a 40-minute half. So a game of 80 minutes, 2 40-minute halves, and it is continuous play. Only stoppages you will get is if the ball goes out of bounds, if the ball is passed or knocked forward and dropped, or if there's a serious injury.
All right, so in the sport of rugby, one of the main laws of the game is that the ball must be passed backwards and not forwards like football.
As you can see with this visual line, the ball is allowed to go flat with the line or backwards, so we never play to the forward ball. So if I were to play Nick, I have to advance in front of him before I can give him the ball back. There we go. So when the ball goes out of bounds, the play is restarted with something called a line out. The two teams are split in 2 sides. You're allowed numbers up to 7 in the line out, but you have to match the actual team that has the possession of the ball's numbers in the line out. The ball is thrown into the middle, so it's a fair fight for both teams to go up. The advantage the team with possession has is knowing where they're going to throw the ball through calls.
And like Dale mentioned, the players are lifted up into the air. It's not just a jumping. In the earlier adaptation of the game, people actually used to have to jump up and bat the ball, but now players are actually lifted up in the air into the center of the tunnel, as it's called in the game, and the player on the receiving team has to reach out and grab the ball and throw it to their player down on the ground. A scrum happens when the ball is dropped or if there's a forward pass. A scrum is elected to the team that did not commit the penalty. It's just a way to reset the game and continue play.
An interesting fact about scrums is it is the same force of 2 male hippopotamuses running into each other. And if you're interested, there's a video of a Formula 1 car pushing against a scrum machine of 8 guys scrumming against it. Rugby form tackle is a very critical part of the game. Since it's a continuous game, you need to make sure that you're looking after your body, being safe, because we don't have helmets or pads. One of the main laws is not to allow tackle above the shoulder height. That is called a high tackle and cause for ejection, as we would call a yellow card or red card. A big thing that we always taught is cheek to cheek, face cheek to butt cheek when you tackle, to make sure that you're keeping your head away from contact and keeping your neck safe from being broke, as Nick would demonstrate here. So unlike football, it's a continuous game. So when we go down, when your knees hit the ground, you form a ruck.
At any given time, the ball carrier needs his team to support him in order to maintain possession. So when the player gets tackled, I must protect him by getting over him and getting over the ball so that the other team cannot steal. If the other team gets there before me, they have every right to steal the ball and we lose possession. Dale will now demonstrate going down in a tackle, and I will demonstrate rucking over and protect the ball from the other team. So, I got you, down.
So one nice thing about rugby that is included in the rules, similar like a field goal to get 3 points, in live play, any player is allowed to drop the ball and has to make contact with the ground, kick it, and if it goes through the goalpost, it's 3 points. So a game can be won in the last minutes.
Our players are currently home for the summer, but their training does not stop there. They are currently training with their local men's clubs and maintain their ball skills and get ready for the upcoming fall season.
Our fall season starts up in September. Make sure to follow Auburn Rugby on Instagram and stay up to date with our schedule.
War Eagle!